Greetings and welcome to nylonase.org. I'm Salvador Cordova, and in this video segment I'll show just how easy it is to retrieve information on thousands of nylonases in various bioinformatic databases. So let's begin. To begin our search for nylonases using bioinformatics tools, the easiest first step is to visit the Uniprot database. And this is easily accomplished by bringing up a web browser such as the one you see here that's presently parked at the nylonase.org website, going to the address box, and hopefully you could see my mouse cursor here. I'm going to go to the address box and type uniprot.org. That's uniprot.org. That brings up the Uniprot website. Go to the search box here and we're going to look for our first nylonase. The most famous nylonase is the one that's coded by the gene called NylB, or I call it NylB. So I'm going to just type in NylB in the search box. That's NYLB. And then I'm going to press search. See how many it brings. So if you see my mouse cursor here, it's highlighting, it's right underneath that number of 519. That means in the Uniprot database there are 519 entries, and I'm going to scroll through some of the first page of the entries. There are 250 displayed on each page, and you could see the various bacteria that have NylB or NylB. It's a huge list, and there's even more. Now, NylB is a subset of a larger class of nylonases known as 6-aminohexanoate hydrolases. So let's do a search on this larger class. That's actually the protein function name, and Uniprot can search on that. So let me type that in. 6-aminohexanoate hydrolase. Hopefully you could see the spelling of that. And then I'm going to search. And we should get thousands of these. And indeed, as you can see where my mouse cursor is pointing, there are 4,813 entries in Uniprot. Now I should mention this is only a minuscule fraction of all the creatures on the planet, since Uniprot only records the sequencing experiments scientists have so far done. So there's plenty of creatures out there, most likely, that have nylonases. So I'm just going to scroll through here. If you duplicate the experiment, you could scroll through and see for yourself all the creatures that are in Uniprot. And that's just one. What I just scrolled through is just one page. And you could scroll through, you can page through other pages of that search, and that's really how easy it is to start looking up the nylonases in the Uniprot database. Now we can find even more nylonases, but it's going to be a little bit more involved. I'm just going to show you how one of the ways I've been able to do it, and I actually had to stumble through doing a lot of trial and error to figure out how to do this, but I'm showing you kind of the shortcuts. So the first thing is I'm going to go back to page 1, and I'm going to look at this entry here, this P07061. That is actually the record of a famous experiment that got a lot of the nylonase research started, and it identifies a creature known as Flavobacterium strain K172 or KI72. The protein name is 6-aminohexanoate dimer hydrolase, which is a nylonase. The gene is called NylB. You could see here all the data associated with this. But I'm going to scroll down to the part I want to look into, and that is the sequence databases. Now the next step is pretty important. go to this checkbox that says GenBank and click it. Very important to get that so that you get the right links. Then go to this translation of this protein. The hyperlink is BAA 05087.1 and click it. That takes us to GenBank at the NIH, and there's all this sort of data that I'm going to just briefly show you regarding this nylonase, this famous nylonase that got it all started. Go to this, to find more nylonases, just go to identify, to this hyperlink that says identify conserved domains, and just click it. This takes us to the conserved domain database. We can, just for those aficionados, you can actually see how the beta-lactamase fold was inferred. Just click here to expand where it says AMP-C. That takes us to the position-specific matrix, but that's neither here nor there. That's just for the aficionados. But getting back to try to find the large and even larger number of nylonases, go to this hyperlink that says domain architecture ID 100044149, and it will look for nylonases that are similar to the architecture of this famous nylonase. Now this is only one of several nylonase architectures, but just click here and we'll look at how many there are. How many there are in various data that the Sparkle viewer can look at, and it's just a huge number. So I'm going to scroll down so you could see it. Let me increase the magnification a little bit, and you can see there are 65,446 entries in various databases that conform to this particular NylB architecture or NylB architecture. And beyond that, there are even more architectures of nylonases and even more entries. And beyond that, that's only those that are that we have sequenced, which is a minuscule fraction of all the creatures on this planet. So that shows, hopefully this gives an idea of just the enormous amount of nylonases that are on the planet. So thank you for suffering through with me through this demonstration, and thank you for your interest in learning more about nylonases.